Gamification. We are looking today at gamification, and I am particularly grateful and excited that gamification is featured here in this program and in this course. It is something that I am very much interested in, and it's one of the reasons why I chose to pursue this particular program, and it is something that I look forward to implementing as soon as possible. I'd like to first of all start off by looking at a study that shows that the impact of gamification can actually help to enhance. This particular study was done by Petit, McCoy, Kinney, and Swartz, and it showed that student engagement was enhanced by having gamified interaction. And this particular company that was used to provide the gamification turn-in TP interactions, and they were able to show that using that particular mode of delivery, there was a overwhelming majority of students that were more engaged, and this was for a subject microbiology. So it shows here that it is something that could be very useful, and I think based on the type of world that we live in, our stakeholders, the students, they are going to expect that from us. Now, I wanted to show you the same company. I did a little bit more digging to try to find the company, and they have ways in which gamification can be integrated into the actual lesson. In some cases, it serves as an add-on in PowerPoint, where within the actual lesson you could do things to increase engagement. I've actually requested a demo from them. It says PowerPoint integration. I've requested a demo from them so I can begin to try out how this thing can actually work in a classroom. So it's something that I am particularly excited about. This video here, I wanted to share with you.
Education, gamification, and the classroom. Understand the why, where, when, and how of gamification. Gamify your classroom to create an atmosphere of excitement. So, why should teachers gamify? First off, it empowers students. Ultimately, their abilities and efforts will determine their success using this strategy. Gamification actually builds motivation for students. Remember, no one likes to lose, and the desire to win will motivate your students. Some teachers may think the gamification concept would be too overwhelming for students, but in fact, students are used to playing games. One of the best things a teacher will see from gamifying their classroom is that their students continue to try and try and try and try again. It is actually fun for students. You'll see some smiles on their faces. Next up is a quick comparison of games, gamification, and game-based learning, which are all actually different. A game is solely defined as a structured form of play. Games are there simply for entertainment value. They are meant to keep the player highly engaged. Next up is game-based learning, which uses actual games to meet learning objectives. The students learn from playing the game, which can be a commercial game, non-commercial game, digital or non-digital game. Minecraft EDU. And gamification is essentially adding game elements into your course. This includes incorporating badges, certificates, and rewards for effort and successful learning. Gamification is the adding.
So just to pause.
Students compete to find answers. Teachers could also set up mathematics.
Just to pause. It shows here that an aspect of gamification would include things like badges. Now, I've used badges before in my class, in my Moodle space, and I found that it was very students received it very well, and they were, if it is that a badge was not awarded, they would they'd be quite vocal about lobbying for why they should get a particular badge. So it's something that I feel like helps, and even within the UE platform, I know that there is capacity for it to be implemented. So I think that would be something that the university can consider. The video goes on to look at other elements of gamification, things that you can use, goals, badges, stand-ins or rankings, and competition. I'm not really in favor of the competition, but teamwork definitely. Okay, and one thing that I wanted to share with you also, the use of characters. I think that's more appropriate for age, depending on the age. Now, this is very exciting material. Here are some real life examples of how gamification can be used in the classroom.
Is by something called experience points. Experience points then translate into actual grades for students.
I absolutely love that concept. The idea is, as students will progress through the lesson, they are awarded different experience points, which can be used for grades. I like this because I feel like a lot of learners, especially men, have gaming drive in them, and they like this idea of leveling up, and I feel like that can help to appeal to male learners. So I'm very happy that this came out as an example.
Points are earned by completing a number of assignments and tasks and things like that. The more points earned, the higher grade the student would receive. Students can engage in scavenger hunts, where students compete to find answers. Teachers could also set up mathematical tournaments, similar to March Madness. If you want a great example of gamification, look no further than Khan Academy. The way they hand out badges and earn stars is a prime example. The possibilities and ideas are endless. So
the recommendation was to look at Khan Academy, and that I did. It's pretty much the end of that video. But looking at Khan Academy, they do have a system in which, based on what you do, you could level up and get certain bonus points. And so gamification doesn't necessarily have to be playing a game. It could be, as long as it has an element of gamification, it will be considered gamification. So even if yes, you get the mastery points, yes, it's attached to your profile, and that will be good because you feel like you're growing. I think that the app Duolingo, which is a language learning app, I think it does a good job at making persons feel like they are leveling up as they go across. And that's not the only app to do that. Several other learning-based apps are like that. So in addition to getting mastery points, perhaps you can get a badge after you finish a particular unit as a point of motivation. And I also looked at this article here. It has some additional examples. It is gamification in education, and what I liked about it is that it looked at Moodle, and Moodle is something that I am an advocate for, and it uses examples of things you can use in Moodle. Now, I'm for the user's picture as opposed to the avatar. I think, once again, it depends on the level. The student's progress, it depends on what type of progress. And the quiz results, I have some difficulty with the concept of posting students' grades for everyone to see. So I think it has to be done in a strategic way. What I really like is the idea of the levels, and I'm seeing here that Moodle has a plugin that allows students to climb some sort of ranking ladder, and that is something that I can look into, something that looks similar to this. Okay, so that is something that I would have to do more research on to see if I can implement in my particular course. But I am so excited of the potential that gamification has, and I hope that we find ways to usher in best practices of this technology that could be not rushed but slowly ushered in to have and monitored and evaluated to have an effective outcome for our students. Gamification.